What's up, lads? Just finished my workout here, and today I want to talk about the 3 best things you can do as a young man when you're in higher value circles. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, be coachable. As a young man, you haven't done as much as a lot of these guys in the higher circles. They usually have huge achievements, or they have, they're a bit older and they've done a lot more in life than you. You want to be coachable. You want to be one of those guys who is open and listening to what they say and taking it on board and implementing. You don't want to sit there and, think you know everything and be one of those, uppity kids, because you'll never get invited around that kind of circle again. If you can be coachable and you can sit there and listen to what, those people are saying and take it on board and ask some questions about it and be genuinely interested in that and soaking up that info, then you're going to go way further than if you sit there and you pretend you know everything and you kind of half-assed about it. You got to be coachable as a young man, because a lot of these guys have been through, way more than you have. They're older, of course. They have more years experience than you. Every year you get older, you think you know everything. You're like, okay, now I know everything. I'm 18, now I know everything. Oh, I didn't know everything at 18. I'm 19, now I know everything. And so on. And that never stops, because you just keep going, you just keep learning. You get more info in your life, and you whittle down the things that you need for your personal life, and then you push on with that. So number 1, be coachable. Number 2, only talk about yourself when you're asked to. If one of these guys asks you a question about yourself, then, sure, feel free to talk about yourself. But don't be one of those guys that sits there and, spills out, only wants to talk about yourself. Like that's a surefire way to just not get invited around those circles again. These guys like to talk about themselves. They have big achievements. Usually they have some sort of ego intact. And, you want to kind of not feed it, but you want to play into that a little bit, because you want to be genuinely interested in these guys, as I said in point 1. So definitely do not, sit there and just chat about yourself. Ask some questions about yourself. If they ask about you, be ready and be prepared. Have like a little, 30-second elevator pitch about yourself. Have a little, intro about yourself that you can drop, like what you do, what your area you work in, where you're from, all that. Nice, quick, concise. You don't want to be sit there harping on about your life story. If they ask you specific questions, sure, but you want to make it about them. These higher value guys, they want to see that you're genuinely interested in them, because they've gone and achieved stuff. So if you sit there and you talk about yourself the whole time, you're not going to do too well. Number 3, bring value in some way. You have to bring some value to these higher circles, because if you don't, they're not going to, you're not going to be invited back around. It's just how it is. Like in these kind of upper echelons, there's a value exchange. Even if it's just something where you get up and, you go pay the bill quietly, and then you sit back down, and it goes from there. Then you go, you can add value based on what you know. Maybe you have an area of expertise that you're really good at. If they ask you about that, sure, drop some info on it, help them out with stuff, suggest stuff that they could implement from your expertise. And this is, seen as giving value. So it really helps if you have like a skill that you're really good at, an expertise that you're really good at, that can be of benefit to higher value circles. That's really valuable up there, because then you can, teach them stuff. You can, if you're an expert on taxes, you can say, yeah, well, have you tried this? And there's this way to get around that tax, and so on. And that's giving value. So even if it's just getting up and, paying the bill the first time. And a lot of these guys will appreciate that. It's not about the money to them. Usually these guys have their money sorted out. But it's about the, the respect, showing the respect of their time. I mean, this goes both ways. Like if I go out for dinner with someone and I pay the first bill, like that's fine. I pay the second bill, I'm like, okay. And then it comes to the third one and, they don't pay. Then it's like, okay, no, it's off, because the value exchange is out of whack now. And usually these high value guys understand that, and they'll, the next time you have dinner, they'll say, oh, next one's on me. Or the next time you go have dinner, they'll pay. It's about that value exchange. And these guys at the highest level, they understand that completely. So make sure you guys take these points on board, especially as young men going into high value circles. Usually you are more inexperienced than those guys, and they want to see you as a younger version of themselves. They want to see that you're coachable. They want to see that, you're not completely all about yourself all the time. And they want to see that you bring some value to the table. Those are the best 3 points when moving into higher value circles as a young man. Thanks for watching that.